when WW3 shows up without even saying hi. Corrections. Blockchain. Imagine this. You're still half asleep, mouth tasting like last night's regrets when beep, beep, beep. It's not your ex texting, "I miss us." That would actually be less terrifying. This is a national emergency alert. The kind you thought only aired at 2 a.m. between reruns of nature documentaries and infomercials selling knives that can cut through cinder blocks. Welcome to day one of WW3, the version nobody expected. Not the cinematic one, wireless not the Michael Bay one, not even the grandpa told me about the Cold War one. No explosions, psychologist, just dead Wi-Fi, frozen ATMs, and your life collapsing in total silence. Death less than they fear losing internet access. 6:17 a.m. The first domino falls, and no one even notices. While you're debating whether to snooze the alarm again, somewhere over Eastern Europe, a heat signature pops up on satellite telemetry, the kind that makes Pentagon analysts instantly question their career choices. Television? Silent. Official channels? Mysterious. Windshield? Social media? Already a circus on fire. The eyewitnesses online include preventive, bots from who knows where, terrified locals posting shaky footage, infrared Americans tweeting, guys?
The evacuation window is
yes,
closing.
That's
If
three
you can
categories.
Hear this, do not wait for
Windshield.
assistance.
Math
Head to the
is
designated
optional.
safe zones now.
6:45 a.m. The notification you never want. Replaced as the East Coast lines up for coffee, every phone in the region lights up. Deflate. DEFCON elevated. Remain indoors. The reactions split instantly. It's clearly a hack crowd. Bro, a 14-year-old in Ohio could totally spoof this. The false alarm, obviously, people. Wait, isn't the test supposed to be on Wednesday? The realists. Abolish. Oh my God, who has the car keys? Where is the baby? The unbothered legends. Blockchain. I'm still going to work. If I die, that's paid overtime. But then, the sound hits. The shrill, unmistakable tone of the National Emergency Broadcast System. The audio equivalent of a cold slap across the face. This isn't a test. This isn't a glitch. Bilingual. This is the contract changing between you and your government, and nobody asked for your signature. A quick roll call. Which state are you watching from? If WW3 really started tomorrow, what's the first thing you'd grab? And be honest, do you think you'd survive past day one? Rushing it in the comments, because if there's one thing we know, it's this. The first casualty of World War III isn't a city, it's certainty. Morning. The war with no explosions. Morning in America is supposed to smell like coffee, burnt toast, and whatever candle someone left burning overnight. Not existential dread. Imperialism. But as the sun climbs over the East Coast, the country wakes into a reality so anticlimactic it's almost insulting. Because guess what? Freeze War 3 has already started, and nobody heard a damn thing. Blindness. Afterwards, missiles arcs and sirens we've been trained to expect by 80 years of bad cinema. Wildfires doesn't change with a bang. Wildfires with a data glitch, a satellite heat signature, and someone at NORAD whispering, sir, you might want to see this. While half the country is brushing their teeth or doom-scrolling on the toilet, the very first global strike has already happened, digitally, invisibly, silently, not even dramatic enough to wake the dog. And that's the most terrifying part. 6:45 a.m. America reads the worst group text in history. The emergency alert slams into millions of phones. Flashlight, home, every train platform, every line at Duncan. DEFCON elevated, remain indoors. But somehow it's still quieter than your mom when she found out you lied about the group project. There are no sonic booms, no shockwaves, seizing, no mushroom clouds. Just the sound of every adult in the room swallowing at the same time. Feathers buzz non-stop, screens glitch, notification after notification, each more vague than the last. Honestly, it feels like the government is just copy-pasting from Google. Cable news anchors look like interns on the first day of work. They don't want to speculate, don't want to confirm. They just want to keep their jobs, and maybe their lives. You can see the calculation in their eyes. If I read this wrong, am I starting WW3 or just reporting it? 7 a.m. Confusion is the new national anthem. A flash in Eastern Europe? A missile launch? Conflicting satellite telemetry? Online, it's chaos. Bots scream, "Retaliation incoming!" Cleanliness Reporters posts a video from 2012 claiming it's breaking news. Gay from Kentucky insists he heard a boom, but that was just his neighbor's F-150 misfiring. Everyone's terrified, but nobody knows why. And still, no explosions. It's like waiting for a jump scare in a horror movie, except the director decided jump scares were too emotionally supportive. Huddled 8 a.m. The calm before the panic buying. By now, the East Coast is fully awake. Paycheck are refreshing their feeds so aggressively, Apple should release a doom scroll mode. Blockchain TV networks finally break into programming with the same tone they use to announce a beloved celebrity death. Government officials appear on screen telling everyone to seizing calm, stay indoors, wait for instructions. But their faces say something else. We are absolutely not okay. And America knows it. The shelves empty faster than your bank account. If part 1 was the "what the hell is happening" phase, part 2 is the "move or get trampled" phase. Because once people realize WW3 might actually be trending for a reason, the most predictable instinct of the modern American activates. Aggressive panic buying. Olympic-level panic buying. AM. The supermarket Hunger Games begin. You've seen panic shopping before, but everything can be comfortable these days. But once the concept was the panic buying for approvally choiced, and then they can be this plan. The supermarket Hunger Games begin. You've seen panic shopping before. The supermarket Hunger Games begin. You've seen the bant because but the thing. There being the road with the long choiter than button story trampled. You've seen they're better than just actually way to the world. Aggressive panic buying is in much all of the days of the Ved. 9 a.m. The supermarket Hunger Games. Before your mother-in-law visits. But nothing, absolutely nothing, compares to the stampede triggered by the words, DEFCON elevated. With minutes, supermarkets across America become Black Friday with worse lighting and more emotional instability. No screaming, crimson, no chaos. Just the frightening, quiet efficiency of people who suddenly believe they need to survive on baked beans for 6 months. Idols to vanish? Not chips. Allergies? No, it's bottled water. Because apparently tap water becomes poison the moment a satellite blinks. Canned food, the kind you usually walk past because it expired during the Cold War. Batteries, AA, AAA, whatever that weird rectangular one is called, gone. You can practically hear the shelves scream as they're stripped bare like a shrimp at a seafood buffet. 9:30 a.m. The gas stations turn into urban battlefields. If supermarkets are silent panic, gas stations are open warfare. Blackjack lives wrap around blocks, falcon horns blare, alternating heart like it's the world's slowest death march. Gas isn't fuel anymore, it's freedom. It's the difference between fleeing or pretending you're going to flee, but knowing you won't get farther than 3 exits down the highway. And when a pump runs dry or a credit card reader freezes? While arguments break out so fast, even WWE would blush. Bibliography, but where civilization starts to crack. Not over ideology,
Not over politics.
but because someone tried to cut in line at pump number 6. 10 a.m. The rumors achieve escape velocity. With the shelves emptying and the lines deepening, the true villain of modern society enters the chat. The misinformation avalanche. Slashing. No one has facts. Everyone has opinions. Line back. And worst of all, everyone has a smartphone. Suddenly, every social feed is packed with breaking, Houston hit, missile intercepted over LA, Washington evacuated, aliens spotted, government hiding it. Some clips are real, some are fake, but people believe tilts. Reality becomes optional. A guy in Ohio sees a fake tweet about Los Angeles and immediately thinks LA no longer exists. He tops off his tank. He buys more water. Unborn, he stuffs more canned tuna into the trunk. Fake fear, real panic, national meltdown. Meanwhile, America stands in line thinking, hello? Is this actually happening? Should I call my mom? Did I remember to buy toilet paper? The government says remain indoors, but human instinct says hoard everything that isn't nailed down. And that instinct wins. When the government switches to Cold War mode overnight. Obierno. By late morning, America hasn't heard a single explosion. Yet it somehow feels like the country is 2 tweets away from becoming a Fallout DLC. Nothing looks destroyed. Nothing is burning. Unless every part of the nation suddenly moves like somebody whispered a magic phrase into the wrong filing cabinet. Unbiased. Activate Cold War Protocol. And oh boy, those dusty binders, they come back with a vengeance. AM. Washington, D.C. goes full fortress mode. The White House, usually busy with tourists taking awkward selfies, suddenly looks like the final boss arena of every military shooter. Flashlight new barricades appear out of nowhere. Fetch, down like someone unplugged the whole city. Secret Service agents sprint around like caffeinated ants. Barrage. Helicopters circle overhead in constant loops. It's not subtle. It's not comforting. It's the nation's capital whispering. If we're panicking, you should panic too. Even the pigeons start acting suspicious. Bilingual. Police departments instantly swap vibes. One moment. Protect and serve. Community first policing. Next moment. Cannons. Form a perimeter. Funnel civilians. Lock down transit. Subways freeze between stations, leaving thousands stranded in dark tunnels staring at their phones, waiting for updates that grow more confusing by the second. Flooring trains stop. Microwave halt. Airports reverse engineer your travel plans. Every flight headed to Europe? Cancelled. Unzipped, turned around, ordered to return to the gate. Pilots aren't told why, but they know. You don't reverse a transatlantic flight for fog. News networks finally say the quiet part out loud. After 2 hours of tiptoe, anchors finally break character and read the official words. NATO response confirmed.
Remain
the room
calm.
goes dead silent.
Seek shelter.
As ever heard in real time until now. And the anchors? They're trying their hardest to look confident. But their eyes say, I should have taken that job in sports reporting. Every channel turns into live maps, scroll, red banners, frameworks, only conceal emotions, remain indoors, await further instruction. You know things are serious when the news stops inviting guests and just loops one message like they're trying to hypnotize the entire population. Then come the convoys. Heavy armored vehicles rumble down highways, ignoring traffic lights like they have cheat codes enabled. Watching from the sidewalk, it's a double-edged sword. Okay, good. The military is mobilizing. Wait, mobilizing for what? Because you don't roll tanks and missile trucks toward undisclosed locations unless someone thinks the war might leak. And when the military starts moving first and civilians are told to stay put, that's when the stomach drops. This is where the nation realizes something horrifying. World War III hasn't reached American soil, but America is already acting like it has. Every commute, the noise, the rhythm is evaporating, and something much darker is replacing it. The cyber punch, when the internet dies before you do. You'd think that WW3 would announce itself with a boom, a mushroom cloud, a missile streak, maybe at least a dramatic thundercloud. Nope.
There's a safe zone.
In modern warfare, the first thing to die isn't you. It's your Wi-Fi. The world goes quiet in the loudest possible way. The moment everything changes isn't marked by explosions, a loading screen. This is buzzing with rumors, panic tweets, and that one friend insisting, I know a guy in the military. The next second, nothing. No updates, no memes, no doom scrolling of death staring back at you like an omen. ATMs, freeze. Gas pumps, lock. Card readers, die. This is where the modern American soul truly breaks. People line up at ATMs only to watch the screen blink, glitch, and finally give up like an exhausted toddler. They tap it, they smack it, they talk to it. But the machine has transcended this realm. Homeland, it is now a decorative brick. Gas stations, the card reader just says, failed. Not because you're broke, not because the bank declined it, but because the bank basically doesn't exist anymore. This is the exact moment America finally understands. Cabless society was a terrible idea. The internet doesn't crash dramatically, it slowly suffocates. Nor boom, no boom, it just layers down. LTE drops to 3G. 3G drops to 1X. 1X drops to the prehistoric cave painting known as no service. Social media platforms vanish like they owe someone money. Flashlight, gone. Facebook, gone. Instagram, gone. TikTok, silent. The true sign of the apocalypse. apocalypse. For Gen Z, this is death. Welcome back to your grandpa's technology. Dusty radios, forgotten since the last hurricane, are suddenly national treasures.
Forging dig through garages like archaeologists.
Where's that flashlight? Do AA batteries go bad? Why do we own 19 dead vape pens but no candles? Eventually, someone finds an emergency radio. Static. A voice. Calm. Repetitive. Monotone. This is a national broadcast. Please remain calm. Federal authorities are responding. Butterflies. Every 5 minutes. The same line. No updates. No details. Blindness if reassurance had a loading loop. This would be it. And the repetition isn't comforting. It's terrifying. We're under control. Wouldn't the message change? Hospitals enter emergency mode. Generators kick on. Lights flicker. Ambulances idle in place. Engines running, but they don't move. Fuel is now more valuable than Bitcoin. Famine gather outside ER entrances, holding up phones like they're trying to summon a signal from the spirit world. But the truth is this. Hello, the hospital isn't connected to the country anymore. It's an island. The first casualty of modern war isn't a city. It's certainty. Safeguard states faster than watching the internet die in real time. America isn't under attack physically. Look, mail, the moment the nation cracks. Nightfall, when darkness turns everyone into philosophers and paranoids. If the afternoon was chaos, the evening is something worse. Silence. Not poetic silence, flushing, not yoga retreat silence, but the kind of silence that makes you suddenly understand why horror movies use violins. The sun sets, and the country collectively realizes, oh God, we're going into the first night of WW3. And for the first time in your life, darkness feels hostile. 7 p.m. Darkness settles over a country that can't refresh anything. No internet, administered, service. No digital distractions to drown the anxiety.
We're playing shot down?
The phone on your table becomes a useless black mirror, a very expensive paperweight from the pre-apocalypse era. Even the glow of city lights feels dimmer, like the infrastructure itself is holding its breath. And with no information, the human brain does what it does best. It makes stuff up. The rumor Olympics begin. With the national router officially dead, people start relying on the ancient technology known as talking to each other, which is adorable and horrifying. Every conversation mutates into a new apocalyptic prophecy. I heard the grid's down because of a nuclear EMP. My cousin's neighbor said troops landed on the coast. Someone saw flashing lights. It's beginning. No, dude, it's aliens. It's 100% aliens. Rumors are the new pandemics. Paper shortages. Neighborhoods rediscover community out of total fear. Expelled outside, candles in hand, exchanging genuine old-school human interactions. Is your power out? You heard anything? You okay? You got food? You got extra food? So ignored each other for 12 years, now bond like a small survival tribe. Flooring yards become meeting points. Blackjack, cad turn into unofficial town squares. Praised. Comforting. Until someone mentions their daughter in another state. Because that's when the true horror hits. Nobody can reach anyone outside their physical neighborhood. A father in Colorado has no idea if his daughter in Boston is safe. On her Florida can't check on her son in Seattle. Friends, Rodinger's loved ones. Thriller? Safe? In danger? In danger. The not knowing is the psychological nuke. And inside the home, the real war is mental. Sit together by candlelight, pretending everything's fine. Blockers. Everything is not fine. You hear every little sound. Car engines in the distance, hurried footsteps, dogs barking, the hum of a radio somewhere. But none of those sounds tell you the one thing you need. Are we actually safe? The truth settles hard. We built a society where safety equals information, where reassurance equals instant updates, wireless equals connectivity. Of that exists. This is the moment America truly realizes. We weren't afraid of war. We were afraid of the dark. The information dies, the imagination takes over, and imagination is always worse. The morning after, when reality hits harder than any missile. There's a saying, the night is darkest before the dawn. Cushion. Absolutely useless here, because when dawn finally comes on day 2 of WW3, it doesn't bring hope. Past. It brings clarity, and clarity is way more terrifying. Everything that felt temporary yesterday feels permanent now. And for the first time, Americans wake up thinking one unified thought. Oh shit. 6:30 a.m. The world looks normal, but sounds wrong. Birds chirp, windshield, clang cars sit peacefully in driveways. Yeah, the sun rises like it always does. But there's something missing. There are no planes, no contrails, forgiven, no morning flights, no airport hum in the distance. The sky is empty, like someone forgot to render it. It's unnerving, almost unnatural. Modern America, silence is not peaceful. This is evidence.
Emergency alert.
Stalled cars and frozen time should be overflowing with commuters now look like a museum exhibit. America, pre-collapse. Cars abandoned mid-errand. Cabinets, some out of fuel. Some stuck in traffic that never moved. Blitz some left behind because their owners decided they had bigger problems than respecting lane discipline. The gas stations are graveyards, empty pumps, digital signs, prices frozen like a final snapshot of the old world. It feels like someone pressed pause on civilization. The government finally speaks. Kinda. On emergency radio, the only working medium left, a voice emerges through static. The nation remains intact. Federal continuity is in effect. Shelter in place. Assistance will arrive. And that's it. Shields. Short. Cold. Blaze. Zero details. Zero details. The government equivalent of don't worry about it. Which of course makes everyone worry even more. Because if things were fine, they would have said so. Suppressing, if things were fixable, they would have said when. If help was coming, they would have said how. The lack of details is the detail. Survival mode begins. People stop thinking in cleanliness, plans, or bank balances, calories, batteries, brushing, and how long will this last? Pantries become the new stock market. Bracelets become blue chip investments. Wings becomes the new Bitcoin, except this time it's actually useful. Credit cards? Dead plastic rectangles. Bank accounts? Gothic look accessing them. Savings? Federatical concepts. Modern life collapses into the oldest equation. What do we have left? A strange calm settles over the chaos. And then something unexpected happens. Violence. Not riots, not looting, but community. Neighbors share meals. Families gather by candlelight. Seizing talk, really talk, for the first time in years. Strangers become allies. Instead, direct blocks turn into small tribes. Because when the big systems die, barracks, the grid, the money, the market, the screens, people don't immediately go feral. Pedestrians aren't wired for instant Lord of the Flies. Bachelors for survival together. There is fear, yes, negligence, but there's also something ancient resurfacing, returned dust to protect the group. For one brief moment, America remembers what community feels like. It's quiet, it's raw, it's honest. And it's happening because the noise that distracted everyone is finally gone. The biggest revelation of the morning after. Yesterday, the nation lost. The grid, colonization, blackmail, the screens. But today, Americans realize something deeper. Those things didn't just power life, they distracted us from it. And now, stripped of convenience, speed, and certainty, behaved people finally see the world as it truly is. Fragile web of systems they never questioned, until the moment those systems vanished. The shift. When the noise dies, the truth wakes up. Morning on day 2 of WW3 doesn't feel like a new day. Submerged like someone ripped the wallpaper off reality and left the drywall exposed. Because after 24 hours without, planes in the sky, microwave on your phone, money that works, or news you can trust, America realizes something devastatingly simple. The war hasn't reached the streets, but it has already reached the mind. And now, as the sun rises over a quiet nation, the truth hits harder than any missile ever could. The world is still here, but the world you knew is gone. Cities stand, blaze buildings stand. Sky is clear. Windshield, there is no smoke, there are no blasts. Extradate is intact. But the infrastructure that made modern life possible? Gone. The grid, the networks, the markets, the communication, all of it evaporated in a digital instant. Not because of bombs, but because warfare evolved and nobody told the civilians. This is the part no movie prepared you for. We imagined WW3 with jets screaming overhead. Titanium, instead, it showed up like a ghost unplugging your router. People realized they weren't living in a superpower. They were living in a super system. And now, stripped of that system, Americans see the illusion clearly. We weren't independent. We weren't self-sufficient. Selectively, we were simply prepared. Connection feels like strength until it vanishes. In one day, millions of Americans go from, I can get anything delivered in 2 hours, to, how much water do we have left? From, I have 12 streaming subscriptions, to, does our radio still work? From, I'm too busy, to, what actually matters? It's humbling. It's horrifying. It's clarifying. In the silence, something ancient returns. With the digital world gone, families gather around real light. Candles, lanterns, fireplaces, the kind of glow humans lived by for thousands of years. They talk, pilgrims, they listen, they share food, they check on each other. Paycheck, and for the first time in decades, blockchain. People look directly into each other's eyes. Not at screens, not at feeds, but at faces. And they realize something the modern world made them forget. Humans don't survive alone. We never have. Infections. War strips away the noises, the distractions, the apps, the busy schedules, and what's left is the raw human instinct to form a tribe. In the middle of fear, humanity returns. The last line of the video says it best. The systems that defined our civilization have vanished. Wireless, we are left with the silence. And in the silence of the new morning, realize the noise was the only thing keeping us asleep. That's the twist of WW3. Not fire, not fallout, but awakening. The war didn't destroy the country. It destroyed the illusion the country lived in. It exposed the thin thread holding society together. It revealed how fragile comfort really was. And it forced people to confront a question they've avoided for decades. Who are we without our systems? And the answer arrives in a simple, ancient truth. We're the same thing we've always been. Inflammatory that survives by sticking together in the dark.